So hello students, a very good morning. So students, in last class we have discussed about some assertion reasoning questions based on the chapter first. So as up to now, two videos on the assertion reasoning related to the chapter 1 we have discussed. Also along with this one, electric potential and capacitance, it means whole of the electrostatic unit we have discussed. So here students, after the discussion on assertion reasoning problem, before this one objective questions we have also discussed while discussing in RT1. Again I will discuss that one by the paper that you are solving also in RT. But before that one, let's first today discuss case study based problems, because this is also very important section for your examination. So let's start to discuss some of the case study based problem. So here some case study we are going to take from the unit electrostatic. So unit electrostatic is containing two of the chapter, you know. First chapter is electric charge and field, and second is electric potential and capacitances. So one by one, all of the case studies that can be here, a sample of that case study we will see from here. That will give you some of the idea what you have to prepare, how to prepare. I think this will help you a lot. So first case study here that taken today, that is for the Coulomb's law. So as you know what is now the Coulomb's law. So let's see now first what is the case that is given to us. So I will read the case study for you. So Coulomb's law is our first case study. So first let me write down the name of the case. So our case first here, this is Coulomb's law. So in the now Coulomb's law, the case is given. This law is a quantitative, you can say, a statement of about the force between 2 point charges when the linear sizes of charged bodies are much smaller than the distance between them. Their sizes may be ignored, and the charges body called point charges. So this definition, you know, whenever we have defined the concept of point masses, from there you know already this one. After retiring from his active service as the military engineering in 1776, Coulomb, a French physicist, discovered a torsion balance to measure a small quantity of force and used it for the determination of forces of attraction or repulsion between small charged spheres. He thus arrived in 1785 at the inverse square law relation, now known as Coulomb's law. So this is now the, you can say, history behind the Coulomb also. Now further it is given, he found that the force between 2 point charges varied inversely with the square of the distance between the charges and was directly proportional to the product of the magnitude of the charges and acted along the line joining the two charges. So Coulomb's law is an electrical analog of Newton's law of universal gravitation in mechanics. And in a figure is given to us, where the figure is two of the charges we have, Q1 and Q2. These two charges are separated by some distance r. So this is given, it is applying a force on F1 on this is F2, and the strength of F1 and F2 both are equal in magnitude here but opposite in direction, and that is equal to K Q1 Q2 upon R square, where K is given, K equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 for free space, and if there is not free space then this is also epsilon. So this is very simple case study, that is simple, you know that already. This is a law about the Coulomb's law. So Coulomb's law, as you know, that is relating the forces for two of the body, just like we have discussed the gravitational force between two of the masses. So two masses that are applying gravitational force on each other, and that is defined by the Newton's law of gravitation. The analogous system we are obtaining for the Coulomb's law in the case of charges. So let's see now, after the study of this case about the Coulomb's law, now what type of questions can be here. So whenever we are saying Coulomb's law, then every question that is relating to the electrostatic force can be asked here. So that you have to first keep in your mind. Whatever the question that is relating the force, that can be asked. So let's see now the some sample questions here. So first sample question is here, that is identify the wrong statement in the following. Coulomb's law correctly describe the electric force that So here some of the statement are given for the Coulomb's law. First, it is given that Coulomb's law correctly describes the electric force that first binds the electrons of an atom to its nucleus. Second, binds the protons and neutrons in the nucleus of an atom. Third, binds atoms together to form molecules. Fourth, bind atoms and molecules to form solids. So here in this case, you can see there are four concepts that is given to us, and in which we have to identify which of the statement is wrong. So first, let me just discuss one by one the statement here. So first statement is given the Coulomb's law binds electrons to the nucleus. So as you know, nucleus is positively charged core. Electrons are revolving around the nucleus according to our atomic model, Bohr atomic model. So in that one, obviously electron is negatively charged particle and core is consisted of protons and neutrons. So obviously neutron is neutral particle, proton is positively charged particle. So if this is nucleus and electron is revolving around this one, so suppose single electron I have taken that has negative charge, and this proton nucleus that will have proton and neutron. So neutron is not consisting any kind of charge to this nucleus, only proton are consisting. So obviously some of the positive charge the nucleus may occur. So you can say some of the positive and negative charges that are separated by some distance. So obviously Coulomb's law is fulfilling here. So these electron and nucleus that will start to attract each other by a force, and that force will be obviously Coulomb force. So our first statement is correct now. Second statement, if you will see, this is saying the Coulomb's force that is bind proton and neutrons together. So if you will see in the nucleus, proton and neutron both are existing, but as neutron is neutral particle and this is now positively charged particle. So as you know, Coulomb's law holds only for the charged particle. It is not working for the neutral particles. So for one neutral and one positive charged particle, we don't know any type or any form of the Coulomb's law. So Coulomb's law is not applicable to bind these two particles. Exactly the force that is responsible to bind these two forces, that is strong nuclear force. So nuclear forces are binding proton and neutron, not the electrostatic force or Coulomb force. So it means that this statement is wrong here. Now third statement, you will see two of the atoms bind together. So obviously you know, in any of the system, if a molecule has to be created, then two or more atoms will bind together. So if two atoms, that two atom you can see that is acting just like the charged particle, the other atom will act like the charged particle, and that's why or if they are even not charged, then that time due to some instant the polarity can be created, and that creation in polarity you have understood why in the van der Waals cases, like polar case, non-polar case, non-polar case. In all that cases, due to the localization of the electrons or movement of electron, sometimes in atom the polarity is created, and due to that one Coulomb's law start to work. So in while binding two of the atoms together to form molecule, there also Coulomb's law is working. Also whenever two of the molecules you have to bind, then that time also Coulomb's law is working. So while forming solid, while forming molecules, Coulomb's law is applicable, but our second is incorrect here, second statement is wrong. So for this question our second answer is correct here. Now the next one, let's see, next question is two charges. Here charges are given. First charge, suppose Q1 is here, that is 3 into 10 to the power minus 5 Coulomb, and Q2 is given, that is 5 into 10 to the power 4 Coulomb. So are placed at a distance of, suppose D is the distance between them, so distance is 10 centimeter from each other. So what is the value of electrostatic force? So this is very easy question that you can calculate by the formula that you have. So let's use now the formula. So according to this concept, you can see the forces acting between the two charges, that is equal to K Q1 Q2 upon R square. So R is here equal to D, A square will be, and its value for the vacuum or air, you know, that is equal to 9 into 10 to the power 9, and in the terms of its unit you can write Newton meter square per Coulomb square. So let's write down its value. So 9 into 10 to the power 9, Q1 is what, 3 into 10 to the power minus 5. Q2 is 5 into 10 to the power 4 divided by here 10 centimeter. Let's convert it into the meter, so that will be obviously 10 power minus 1 meter. So it will be finally 10 power minus 2. You can solve it, and its value is now, after calculation, it is obtained as 13.5 into 10 to the power minus 10 to the power 11 Newton. So this is the answer of our question now for this one. So you can choose it from the options now. Now let's see the third question of this case study. So third question of this case study is, each of the 2-point charges are doubled and their distances is half. So force of interaction between becomes n times. What is the value of n? So it is given if we have 2-point charges Q1 and Q2, and it is given that each charges becomes now a double of this one. So if before their value is suppose Q1 Q2, so now after between double it will be Q1 dash, that is Q2 Q1, Q2 dash is 2 Q2 now, and it is given that their distances is half. So before that one, suppose distance is d, and now the distance is d dash, so this will be equal to d by 2. So we have to find out, we have given that the force now, suppose this is becomes f dash, this is equal to n times f. So we have to find the value of n. Let's find out. F dash again can be used by this formula, so that will be k q1 dash q2 dash upon d dash whole square. This will be equal to n times here q1 k q1 q2 divided by d square. So k will be cancelled out from here, so you can just cancel k from here. Now let's put the values of q1 dash, q2 dash and d dash. So let me just rub this one. So you can just put the values now. Value is q1 dash is equal to 2q1, q2 dash is again 2q2 upon d dash is d by 2, that's whole square. This is equal to q1 q2 upon d square into here n we have. Now let's use the formula again. This will be 4 times, and again from here if you will do the square, so this will be d square by 4. This 4 will go up, so this will be 16 into q1 q2 upon d square is equal to n q1 q2 upon d square. So this will be cancelled out, so finally n is equal to now 16. So this answer we can calculate easily from here now. Now let's see the next question of this case study. Next question is given, the minimum value of the force acting between 2-point charges placed 1 meter apart from each other. So if we have 2-point charges, suppose that 2-point charges, its minimum value we have to find. So first of all, what is the force between 2-point charges if they have the charges q1 q2 and they are separated by the distance they are here d's. So it will be d square. Now the value is given, the d is equal to 1 meter here. So if you will put the value of d is equal to 1, so this will become now k q1 q2. Now here the value of q1 q2 will be what? So minimum possible charge of this universe is obviously is for the charge of electron. So charge of electron, you know, that is denoted by E, and that has a strength 10 power minus 19 coulomb. So it means that you can write the value of q1 and q2 is equal to E. So this will be k into E square. So this is now the minimum possible force for the charge to be that is placed at 1 meter apart from each other. So this is very basic concept that you have to use it. Now let's see the last question of this case study. On every case study in examination, students, you will get 5 questions in which you have to attempt any 4 from there. So this is our pattern of the case study always. So you can see now in this case study every possible question on the force that can be here, or we are taking different questions also. Next one question is, A and B are 2 identical spheres charged bodies which repel each other with force F kept at a finite distance. So a third uncharged sphere of the same size is brought in contact with the sphere B and removed. Then it is kept at midpoint of A and B. So find the magnitude of force on C. Now one by one, let's do the procedure of to find out the force here. So first it is given we have two identical spheres that are started to repel with by a force, and that are kept at a finite distance. So suppose this is now two identical spheres A and B. They have kept at a finite distance, suppose d, from each other, and they are repelling them by each other by a force. That force is equal to F. Now it is given. So F we will have, suppose the charge on first one, both are exactly identical, it is given, so obviously they will carry identical charge. So these are Q and Q. So this will be obviously same charges are here, they are repelling each other. So its strength of this force will be KQ square upon D square first. Now again it is given a third uncharged sphere C we are taking, and now that is in contact with B. So first third charged we are uncharged sphere we are taking, and that is kept in the contact with this one. So whenever you know third neutral sphere that will in contact, then charges due to its conservative nature, charges will start to create in this one until the charges in both will be same. Means half of the charges from here that will be supplied to the third charge body. So the C will contain now Q by 2 charge, and this A will contain also Q by 2 charge after the contact. Now it is given this after contact the sphere that is now removed. So now it is kept at the midpoint of A and B. Now we are keeping it at the midpoint of this A and B. So we have to find out what will be the magnitude of force on this one now. So if you have to find out now the magnitude of force, so first I think I have to make this figure again. I think up to now this is clear. So let's just create this one again. So now we can just make it this one. So this is now our body A. This is our body B. Now at this their midpoint at this body C is kept. So this is now our diagram. So in this diagram, students, as just now we have seen that whenever this sphere will keep in the contact with this one, so the charge on this one become Q by 2, also on this one it will become Q by 2, but on A it is already Q. So as these three charges are identical charges, so obviously this charge A, this sphere A due to charge Q, it will start to repel this sphere C. So repulsion will be obviously away to each other, then this will be the direction of FA, and also this sphere B that will start to repel this sphere C due to their like charges. So it will apply the force in this direction. Now you can see this sphere C that is facing two of the forces FA and FB. So what the net force that will be applicable on C, that can be calculated as the difference of these two forces. So obviously you can see the difference, the force FB that will be less than the force FA due to this charges. So it will be FA minus FB. Or if you can't understand, then you can take any one. After the difference, if it will be positive, then it means FA will be greater than FB. It will be negative, then obviously FB will be here. Obviously that is result is same. Means if you will take FB minus FA, it will be negative, and if it will be FA minus FB, it will be positive. In both of the factor it is saying FA will be greater than FB. So let's find out now its value. So FA will be what? This is force between these two now. So force between first this one and this one will be equal to K, Q1, Q2. Q1 is Q, Q2 is Q by 2 upon at the midpoint. So suppose this distance I already no need to suppose, we have taken it D. So this will be D by 2. So D by 2 whole square minus of, now again the force between these two is FB. So this is K. Four charges are Q2, Q by 2 and Q by 2, and the distance is again same distance D by 2 square. Now we have to solve this line to find out the net force that is acting on this one. So if you will solve this one, then K can be KQ square. I am taking as the common. So this will be here from 1 by 2 minus of 1 by 4, and divided by this whole is d by 2 whole square. So we can write d square by 4 to it. Now if you will solve this line, so it will provide us the value of net force that is acting here. So this will become k q square, and this will be half from 1 by 4 from here, sorry, not half. So 1 by 4 and 1 by 4 will be cancelled out, and this will be kq square upon d square. And this is now the value of force that we have calculated before between A and B. So A and B that were identical, that has charge q, and obviously F will be equal to kq square upon d square. So this is equal to F now. So it means that F will, this sphere C will experience net force F here whenever this whole procedure will be created. So students, I think this case study first, that is now clear. So one of the case study on electrostatic, that is Coulomb's law, we have discussed now. So students, now let's see our second case here. So the second case study for us in the chapter electrostatic or unit electrostatic, and from the chapter electric charge and field, that is concept of electric dipole. So this is now our second case that we will see. So electric dipole, again this is a whole topic, so let me just read the case study first for you. Some of the questions we will discuss here, and some other all questions related to this case study we will discuss in next class, so don't miss the next video for this one. So case is here, the electric field due to a charge configuration with total charge 0 is not 0. So this line is very important here. It is not necessary that due to all charge configuration the electric field is 0 whether the total charge is 0. Like you have two of the charges, q minus q. So the total system, its total charge will be q minus q, that will be 0. But electric field due to this system will not be 0. Now here after this one given, but for distances large compared to the size of the configuration, its field falls off faster than 1 by r square. Typically of the field due to single charge. So due to single charge, you have seen the field that is related to 1 by r square, but whenever we will have system of charge, then that is, it is started to fall more rapidly than 1 by r square. So an electric dipole is a simplest example of this fact. So an electric dipole is a pair of equal and opposite charges plus q and minus q separated by some distance 2a. Its dipole moment vector p has magnitude 2qa and is in the direction of dipole axis from minus q to plus q. So the electric field of the pair of charges can be found out by Coulomb's law and the superposition principle. So the magnitude and the direction of dipole field depends not only on the distance r but also on the angle between the position vector r and the dipole moment p. So in some molecules like H2O, the centers of negative and positive charges do not coincide, so they have permanent dipole moments. Such molecules are known as polar molecules. So this is simple case study we have about the electric dipole. So you know already these basics about the electric dipole, that is given in our case study. So electric dipole is what? That is collection of two charges that have same magnitude but opposite here direction. So if one charge is q, the second is minus q, they are separated at some distance 2a, then they form electric dipole. So system of two charges equivalent on opposite nature, that is known as electric dipole. So now we are going to talk about this electric dipole, and all of the questions related to this electric dipole will be contained here. So electric field due to this electric dipole, also torque that is experienced by this electric dipole, that all questions can be here. Now one question I will discuss here, that is what will be the value of electric field at the center of the electric dipole. So here our first question is this one. Now options are given: 0 equal to the electric field due to one charge at center, twice the electric field due to one charge at center, half the value of electric field due to one charge at center. So question is very simple here. Question is given what will be the value of electric field at the center of electric dipole. So at the center of electric dipole, electric field is, you can see twice due to electric field of these two. So you can calculate now this one why this electric field will be twice of this one, because at center electric field will be sum of these two, and if you will take sum, then that will be twice of the electric field due to the single charge. So this is very easy question about this electric dipole. So students, I think this question is now clear to you completely. So for today, with the introduction of this case study, let's end it here. So as I am saying you again, don't skip the next video for this case study. We will see other all questions related to this case study there, and one more case study, one or two that is suitable, that we will take there. So for today, let's end our class here for today. Thank you, students.